may take their seats in front on the couch. You can make yourselves comfortable. May I call upon our moderator, Mr. Sunil Damania, to come upon stage to begin our final session. A warm welcome to Mr. Sunil Damania, Executive Editor of Business India. Mr. Sunil Damania has been tracking the capital market for over 20 years now and is a chartered accountant by profession. A round of applause to welcome Mr. Sunil Damania. Our first panelist is Mr. Suresh Soni, MD and CEO, Deutsche Asset Management India. Mr. Suresh Soni has over 20 years of experience in the Indian financial market. Next up is Mr. Motilal Oswal, Chairman, Motilal Oswal Securities. Mr. Motilal Oswal is the Chairman and MD of Motilal Oswal Financial Services Limited. He's also authored 2 books and has published hundreds of articles as well. We also have Ms. Homai Daruwala, ex-EMD Central Bank of India. Ms. Daruwala has had a varied experience of working in 3 large public sector banks, namely Union Bank of India, Oriental Bank and Central Bank of India. She is the second woman professional banker and the first woman from the minority Zoroastrian community to reach the topmost position in PSU banks. Welcome, ma'am. We also have among us Mrs. Amisha Vora, Prabhudas Leeladhar Group. Ms. Amisha Vora is a chartered accountant with over 27 years of experience in financial services. Under her leadership, the Prabhudas Leeladhar Group has grown into a holistic financial services organization. And finally, Mr. S.P. Tulsian, analyst, a commerce and law graduate from Mumbai. Mr. Tulsian is a chartered accountant and a company secretary. Armed with academics and an acute sense of logic, S.P. Tulsian is a much sought after fundamental analyst today. And finally, if I can call upon Mr. Sunil Damania to take over.
Good evening. It's a very heavy and powerful panel we have here. Can we adjust the mic? Yeah, it's okay. After deliberation on the political side, now we will discuss on banking, finance and capital markets. And the way GITO has organized the event gives a clear-cut idea where people priorities are. It's in real estate, number 1, number 2 bullion, and number 3 capital markets. So this is what has happened to this country. I distinctly recollect in 1992 when there was a Harshad Mehta-led bull run. We had near about 4 crore retail investors, correct me if I am wrong, and that's what the NCAR data suggests. And as we speak, I think we have less than 2 crore investors. Market has gone up 6 times high, Indian population has almost doubled from that level, but number of investors have decreased. In the morning when I was here, there was a real excitement to listen about what's going to happen to the real estate. Equally, people were really thrilled to know about what's going to happen to the bullion market. When this session on capital market is happening, I see very few people. Anyway, we have a very distinguished panel here. We have Motilal Oswal ji, living legend in the investment world. I think the quality of research his research outfit comes out with, it's second to none. In fact, some of the foreign multinational research outfit need to learn a lot from the way Motilal Oswal research brings out the research. Congratulations, sir, for a wonderful research you have. We have Tulsian sir. When he's on TV, it's very difficult for you to switch on the channel, flip the channel, because he's so articulate in his thought process, in his argument. And each and every retail investors in this country look forward to listen to his comment. Welcome, sir. Amishi Ola doesn't require any introduction. Almost every day, correct me if I'm wrong, she's on the TV channel. The way she is clear in her thought process about how to go about investing in equity market is fantastic. We have Mrs. Daruwala, the only panel member from the banking, this one. She has done a brilliant job when she was Central Bank of India. Welcome you, ma'am. And then we have Mr. Soni from Deutsche AMC, the mutual fund arm of Deutsche Bank. Welcome, sir. Now, let me, this Vision 2019, excuse me, I'm just suffering from a very heavy cold, so my voice is not at its best. 2019 Vision. Let me, I think one biggest problem we have seen in this country, as I said in my opening remarks also, the number of retail investors are on constant decline. Let me start with a very solid opening batsman, Mr. Motilal ji. Sir, what do we need to do to get these retail investors coming in? Because, Sensex 4,000, retail investors not excited. 6,000 not excited. 20,000 not excited. 25,000 not excited. So what would make retail investors very excited about this market?
I think, see, there are a few trends which we have observed in last, I think maybe 10 to 15 years. First is, there are very few retail investors, but very high number of retail speculators. What I mean is that investors जो है, वो I think speculate उनका जो average holding period है वो काफी कम होता जाता है. So speculation के हिसाब से ज़्यादा होता है. Retail का आप देखेंगे delivery percentage is just 1%. So the problem here is that we are not able to market our services to the mass retail. So the market has taken a complete shift from investment to speculation. Another thing is that a lot of retail investors, I think because of whatever they have launched or because of, I think, smart kind of selling and marketing, now the retail is directly going into mutual funds, which is a very good kind of, I think, I would say, trend. Third thing is, the markets definitely have evolved, I would say, only last maybe post 2000 or so. Earlier the size of the market was very small, the participation was very small, there were hardly big institutional investors in India. Because of the foreigners coming in a big way, they have really expanded the market in that sector. But since the foreigners have bought huge amount of money, so again retail holding of the overall investment price becoming smaller and smaller. So the worry is retail is not coming in. The worry is the domestic institutional investors also are very, very small in terms of numbers and size. So the foreigners are completely dominating the market. But if you look at the performance, I think the equities has done very well. So I see that dichotomy that it is while the people who hold on the investment for long term, they made huge money, speculators in any case based on the trend. So I think the equity as an instrument is a very powerful instrument for the people to make money over a longer period of time. But unfortunately, I think somewhere the shift is happening the way I have discussed. Now, how the market, new people should come. Earlier, if you say the new investors used to come to IPO. जब भी IPO आते थे, I think because of very attractive pricing and good market conditions, IPO में participation बहुत होता था और हमने देखता था कि नए account बहुत खुलते थे IPO के हिसाब से. Unfortunately, because of open economy, now the corporates also are becoming greedy, and the pricing is not as attractive as it used to be. I think आप देखिए अभी 4 महीने पहले जो गवर्नमेंट का PSU का ETF आया था, it came to at some discount rate, and that investment has done very well. So somewhere once the people start making money, automatically people will come. I think government has given a lot of I would say tax benefits. So I don't think so that you need much more tax incentives for the people to come in. Somewhere I think we need to, of course, market it aggressively and see to it that I think we get the longer term money in the stocks.
So you are saying that we need good IPOs to bring back retail investors. Do we agree, Mr. Tulsian Saab, that we need retail investors to bring in IPO? That's the only way we should bring it? Or there is another way you believe?
See, primary market is one of the reason by which you can really increase the investors. But just continuing with the point of what Motilal ji has made, actually the tragedy with the capital market is that if you really see the performance in this last 2 decades, I don't think that any businessman, because let's understand that investor comes to the market to make money. They are not here to lose money. But in the last 2 decades, we have not seen the return really coming to the investors community, whether from the primary market or from the secondary market. Because in the hindsight, we always find that, okay, maybe 1 or 2 issues may have given the good return in the IPO. But if I just start first let me quickly focus on the primary market. What is happening? Government came out with many IPOs. There, the prime objective was to extract maximum. What has happened with the private sector? The objective was to extract maximum. Always in the primary market, an issuer must come with an idea that I have to sacrifice on a small portion which I am diluting, whether that is 10% or whether that is 20%. But they have not done that. They have not, instead of valuing the IPOs on DCF, discounted cash flow, they have valued them on net asset value. Because they have always, I interact with many promoters. They say that no, my present worth is so much, I am diluting 10%, so I want so much. And unfortunately, to accomplish that objective, even the investment bankers and merchant bankers have helped those issuers of the government. Let me be very blunt. Sometimes it may find it little difficult. So that has not gelled, or that has not gone well with the market.
I think IPO mispricing is one.
Yes, and unless and until you reward the investors, they will not come into your market. What has happened in the last 2 decades? All your elderly or all your fatherly or your advisors have advised that remain away from the market because even you have not been able to make the fixed deposit return. But yes, now the situations have changed. Now maybe we had a lull period of maybe inaction time of about 5 years. I hope that now things will start improving in all respects because there was policy paralysis, there was no action on part of the government. So now primary market as well as secondary market both will act as a catalyst for the investors to make money, but they should stick to the quality and just not go by the hearsay or maybe the low or poor quality stocks.
Thanks. Amish, do you believe that we had this more retail investors in the equity market, and he said that there is a mispricing of an IPO, that's a concern which everyone talks about. We had capital control of India, CCI, and then SEBI comes in, and we made it free pricing. Do you feel there is some reason for tweaking that? Because it seems that if people have not made money, as Tulsian Saab said, then how will someone will come to the equity assets class? But the fact is that market has gone from 4,000 to 25,000 in 20 years. So by that logic, we have CAGR return of more than 14.5%, which no other assets class would have given.
So I feel that, even if issue is mispriced, the discretion of investing lies with the investor. So both institutional investors, when they put money, they use their discretion. So one part of story could be that the IPO is mispriced. The fact still remains that there is policy uncertainty which was impacting business, and there were so many other reasons in the economy which was impacting, and market is the true barometer of what's happening in the economy. You can't really get away from that. But I would just like to add one thing here. You were mentioning that conclave is about Vision 2019. And one of the key visions as a country that we should have is today, if you see, FII turnover to domestic institution turnover is in the ratio of 4:1, which means that Motilalji was also telling foreigners are ruling the equity markets, sentiment as well as the reality. And this is such an important aspect of growth agenda which Modi government has, because this provides capital. Two important things which can be really looked into is, one is allowing pension funds to invest into equities. These are long-term money, these are large money. And the second thing which for getting retail investor money is to think on the lines of 401k, which is in US, put a part of the money into equities. Because this is a culture, this is a habit that needs to be formed, which may not come very willingly. What comes willingly is speculative aspect. The investment aspect needs to be built through policy measure.
Mr. Soni, do you believe that, suppose if we have a 401k kind of plan and your industry would see a more surge? Because I have been informed yesterday by one of your industry colleagues that there has been a constant redemption from the retail investors as and when the market is going up. So I think we are still struggling, to get the answer, because in fact none of my panelists have been able to give me an answer yet. Okay, what do we need to do? I think IPO seems to be the only, this, and of course Ramesh talks about that we need to have a 401k plan so that pension money can come into the, but that will not be a direct exposure by the retail investors to the equity market. I think what we are seeing is a direct exposure of retail investors to the equity market. How do you see this as being a AMC player?
Yeah, IPO or no IPO, that doesn't matter, frankly, because IPO is just a way of distributing the equity as a share. If you have got already 7,000 companies listed in this country, you don't need an IPO to buy that. And खाली आपको इतना अच्छा लगता है IPO के अंदर कि बॉस सबको एक भाव में मिला है. That is the only benefit of an IPO. Otherwise, you can easily go and buy in the secondary market whatever share you want. And as far as company is concerned, for a company, there are different options available. There is something called a QIP, Qualified Institutional Placement. तो आप चाहो तो अपने शेयर जाके कुछ इंस्टीट्यूशन को at market price रख सकते हो. Or you can do a placement with, private placement with some institution. You can raise money through various modes. So nobody wants to sell their share at discount, and nobody should. So the days of CCI are over, or if somebody believes that IPOs should be priced at a discount, I think that part is over. You have a choice to buy. Only in case of IPO, आपको खाली इतना लगेगा कि यार मेरे पैसे फूटे हैं तो सबके फूटे हैं लाइफ में, right? And secondary market, you have to make a choice that today I am buying this share at 500. In IPO, everybody is getting it at 300. सबके 100 रुपए हो गए, चलो ठीक है. So I think that doesn't matter. What matters is, and what people don't realize, is that over a period of time, the power of compounding or power of money that equity gives is phenomenal. 1980, when the index started, it was 100. Today it is 25,000. 250 times. No other asset class gives you this kind of money. Not even gold, not even real estate, nothing else. But reality is, it has to be experienced by people for them to start believing into it. Why do people invest in gold? Because they have experienced it over generations. दादी ने तभी खरीदा था, हमारे दादा ने 200 रुपए का खरीदा था, उसका 25,000 हो गया. उसमें किसी ने डिविडेंड मिला है क्या किसी को? उसमें कुछ बोनस मिला है नहीं. इक्विटी के अंदर आपको वो सब गेन्स भी आती रहती है, और over a period of time it makes money also. Problem is people want to take equity as a day trading kind of a thing. What Motilal ji was saying some time back कि speculator है उसमें, investor नहीं आते. आप invest करो, काफी अच्छा रिटर्न बनता है. म्यूचुअल फंड की बात करें तो पिछले 10 साल पहले हमने चालू किया था हमारा म्यूचुअल फंड. 10 साल के अंदर इंडेक्स गया है 7 टाइम, म्यूचुअल फंड has gone up 11 times. तो 10 साल में 11 गुना पैसा कम नहीं है. या फिर 30 साल के अंदर, 35 साल के अंदर 250 गुना कम नहीं है. पैसा काफी बनता है इसके अंदर. थोड़ा पेशेंस चाहिए.
No, you are right. Everything, the fact of the life is that there are no retail investors coming even with the mutual fund. So you are doing well, which you know. The whole audience doesn't believe. Do you believe that mutual fund is doing a good job? Can we have the raise the hand, please? Just see that. I think there is a perception problem with the equity and assets class. Sorry. Mrs. Daruvala, you have been dealing with the retail, customers as a banker. How do you used to get the retail customers coming to your bank? And we can learn something, good points from you, so that equity market can learn how to get the retail investors to the.
Well, I would beg to differ on one count. In today's date also, as far as the capital market is concerned, there are no policy changes, there are no reforms which are brought in. And for no rhyme and reason, you have the SEBI chasing, finding out to protect the common man. only because the index is rising. The Sensex is rising to what an extent is just not understood. With all due respect, a common man who does not have much idea of what company A is and how company C differs from it, just because the stock is rising is going to chase it. Or when it crashes, the others have all taken away what was due to them, the common man continues to hold the empty bag. Basically, as far as the banks are concerned, what every depositor is aware of is the fact that he's going to get a constant return of money. And in today's day, a fixed deposit receipt of between 1 year to 3 years is fetching him not less than 9% on an average. We also have to do a lot of homework before we can bring a depositor in. We have to convince him. Because basically, as far as the rural area is concerned, even in today's day, they are more happy keeping the money in the tin boxes, buried into the ground, instead of placing it with the banks. We have also got a lot of people who, that is why that financial inclusion has been brought in, because even in today's day, every Indian citizen does not have a free access to the bank. He or she may like it or he or she may not like it, that is another perspective. But for an economy and for a country to grow, it is very, very essential that everybody comes into the fold. What we have been trying to do is door to door and trying to educate the people why it is good and beneficial for them to place the deposits with us. Markets, with all due honesty, although I was also an ex-banker, if you ask me in today's date, I'm not going to run into the markets, very honestly.
Yeah, we got the answer that says no. I think people need to get convinced.
We do not, because somebody has to really chase, understand, follow every second of what the market plans is.
Motila, is this an issue where people are not really informed about what equity, because they always consider it's a very risky and
I think that's what I said, that the people don't see equity as an asset class from longer term perspective. They don't see it. IPIR, are we listing 80 or 90% of the retail public?
Is it also because of that you can see this is the only asset class where you can see the price going up and going down on a second to second basis?
Maybe because of 24/7 CNBCs and all this, I think people, your graph goes up with your heartbeats. So that's a big problem. But I think, look at what Suresh has said. I did the comparison that 100 rupees invested in index which came in 1979 has become 25,000. 100 rupees invested in gold Prithviraj has become 4,000, and 100 rupees invested in Mr. Daruwala's bank has become only 1,600. So 100 becomes 16 times with bank FD, 40 times with gold, and 250 times in stock, and still people don't really, I think, buy it.
तो सर यही तो प्रॉब्लम है, क्यों नहीं आती? जब लोगों को पता है कि दिस इज एन असेट क्लास।
अभी पृथ्वीराज जी हमेशा बोलते क्या कहते हैं, बोला खरीदना नहीं, आप चेक भेज दो मेरे पास, तो चेक नहीं भेजते, पर खाली पूछते रहते क्या करना है, क्या करना है। Everybody just say क्या लगता है, मतलब मार्केट कहाँ जाएगा, मतलब don't invest in the market, you invest into good quality stocks, that's it.
हाथ जला हुआ है,
कुछ दिखता नहीं है जला हुआ, हाथ तो बड़ा हो रहा है आपका।
No, I think it's a better serious note. I think we have a very serious issue to tackle, because if you vision 2019, if India has to grow, if Indian entrepreneurs want a capital to fund their expansion, we need retail investors. How do we get the retail investors? And if we don't get retail investors, I think whether it's a Modi government, it's a Manmohan Singh government, maybe XYZ government, after 10 years, 15 years, will still struggle with government. I think we have an issue here. Tulsian sir, do you think this futures and options basically has actually acted in a way, it has driven away the retail investors, because people have become more speculative. Her seconds, her minutes. And I'll tell you one interesting story. I was in a investor education program on behalf of Bombay Stock Exchange. And I was on the previous night flying from Bombay to Ahmedabad. And the next day there was a match between India versus Australia, semi-final in Ahmedabad, World Cup match. The guy was sitting next to me and we happened to pick up the conversation, and he said, आप स्टॉक मार्केट बोला, हाँ मैं भी स्टॉक मार्केट का बहुत इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ, बोला मैं भी लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर, बोला वेरी गुड, बोला कितने दिन के लिए इन्वेस्ट करना, बोला 7 दिन के लिए। Now that's the definition of a long term investor. So do you think this futures and options has really killed this the investment philosophy in this country?
Sunil, I think that is the main cause. You have hit the head on the nail on the head. Actually, that is the prime cause, and you have rightly said so. अगर आप देखिए, जो आप एक लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर्स की बात करते हैं, पहले तो मैं ये दोनों जो कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस आया रियल एस्टेट का, गोल्ड का और saving in 100 rupees and they say they want to invest into the stock market. So firstly, there is no asset allocation. Either you must be very disciplined and put your 20% of your saving in the market and let that be on a permanent basis if you really want to enjoy the 250 times benefit in these 35 years or maybe in 40 years, number one. Number two, don't borrow money and put into the stock market. I don't think, because stock market never gives you a linear return. That always gives you a concentrated return. Probably you will have a lull 4 years, 5 years, and then suddenly in 12 to 18 months you will find your investments really doubling, tripling or quadrupling. Number two. Number three, definitely you must differentiate between the trading and investments. Because what people are doing, I interact with the retail investors every day, I deal with the 500 to 600 queries. They say that, okay, I want to buy one stock, suggest me. Take for instance, I have suggested him ONGC. In the earlier query, he has clearly mentioned that suggest me one stock for 12 months point of view. I suggested him ONGC, that immediately after the market closes, he posts me another query. It has fallen by 5 rupees. Shall I exit now from the stock or not? So I can re-enter at the lower level. See, now you can't meet these kind of expectations, So yes, it is the onus on part of all the market intermediaries, whether they are investment banker, they are broker, they are investment advisor, they must educate the investors with a little long-term horizon to put in this market.
Do you believe this STT, which when I talk to people and I talk to fund manager and retail investor, well, the STT बहुत है तो बहुत तकलीफ है If the STT goes away, then the retail investors come. Do you think STT is an issue, and this new government which has come in, they should look at STT as a factor to do something?
So the STT is a cost, but that could not be the reason to deter retail investors. If we use the word investors in the literal meaning, because STT deters, as what we were referring, the day traders or speculators or arbitrators, because their cost goes up. But I do firmly believe even they are necessary participants of the markets. I don't think any participant of the market should be viewed negatively. As a whole, they make a liquid market, and which is what is very important for all the participants, including investors. But I don't think STT could be the reason why retail investors are deterred from coming into market. But reduction in that will definitely increase volumes and provide.
I think no, I don't basically. You are saying that's not a deterrent, and then if the reduction is very
So, Sunil, can I add a point here? What Amisha stated. See, let's be, in fact, the kind of harassment the investors are facing. In fact, this point has been raised by me practically in each of the deliberations and conferences. If you have collected STT, there are different STT for traders and for the investors. The department, the harassment by the department, I wish that this new government, set this problem right. They are all taxed on their investment as traders. They are not given the benefit of short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain. The moment you have collected the STT of delivery from me, I am entitled to enjoy the profits of that transaction either as a short-term investor or as a long-term investor. But because there are 13 or 14 criteria given to the department, and the subjective assessments are all done by the tax officer, because you are a frequent trader. So in fact, I tell you, there are lot many appeals pending, where the entire capital gain which has been genuinely availed by the taxpayer has been taxed as business profit. So I think by doing these kind of things, you want to have cake and eat it too. You are collecting STT as a delivery from me and not giving me the benefits of STT and long-term capital gain and short-term capital gain. Then remove those provisions from the department. Why you are harassing the investors? And actually that has also been a cause of running away the real investors, those who have been the long-term investors in the market. They are not coming back into the market. So I hope this government is set this right.
Do you agree with what Tulsian Sahab is saying? That absolutely, I am also a victim, because I am fighting the battle every year in income tax department. First, this is my long-term. They said, no, your business is a business income. So it's an issue I think somewhere we have been raising every year. So the new government should come and clarify that what is long-term and what is business income. I think
that brings me another aspect. Motilal ji, you have been, we have various verticals. You have AMC, you have broking and other thing. and there is a SEBI mandate for you people also to educate the investors, and some of the panel members have been talking about the financial education is an area of concern when people are literate but they are financially illiterate. And a lot of money has been spent by SEBI, by exchanges, by broking community, by AMCs. Still we are not able to somehow, send the message right that this is an asset class which can make you wealthy. Is there something wrong in terms of communication? People don't seem to be living. Like when he said that NAV has gone up 10 times and people in the audience says no. So there is some communication gap somewhere. How does one address this communication gap?
I think we human beings, we are emotional. So I think greed and fear, they are the two big emotions. I think somewhere in the rising market we become greedy and we buy more stocks, and in the falling market we become fearful. And that's where we keep on, I think, trading between the fear and the greed. The more important point is how do we keep on educating the people again and again and again. Just few events being done here and there is not going to make difference. Somewhere we need to completely change their mindset that what this equity as an instrument can do for you for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And that's a constant effort. At least everybody has to put in, and we have been really putting to see to it that we have the people buy the equities for long term, but there are very few people who invest for long term. I think most of the people, as I said, they basically trade or churn their portfolios based on the market sentiments and based on, I think, 24/7, all the channels coming in, buy, sell. I think some of the analysts, in one day they come in the morning, they buy, and they say in the evening they come and sell.
That's the danger of a TV channel. Now let me ask you one last question on the retail investor side. There has been a short-term capital gain of 15%, which is only this is for you. But we don't have a long-term capital gain on the equity side. Do you believe, if suppose government is anyway collecting STT on the delivery side, if they do away with the short-term capital gain too, do you believe that retail investors will come back to the assets class? Because of course, as AMC, you don't pay any capital gain, right?
Yeah, so I think as mutual funds, we don't pay any taxes on the gains that we make on equity. So that makes it even better for investors because we are not paying any taxes, and again investors, if they hold for 1 year, they don't pay any taxes. But more than that, I think taxes help, but at the margin there has to be a confidence in the asset class. So जब मैंने बोला कि NAV ऊपर चला गया तो आप लोगों ने बोला कि नहीं पैसा नहीं बना. Now that is something which you will learn only when you experience, when you invest in it.
No, you just
आपने सवाल पूछा
please respond to my question.
Why did
My question is very simple. Is long-term, short-term capital gain will bring back the investors or not? That's my question.
Maybe a little, maybe on the margin it helps.
So basically whether it's there or not, it's not going to make a material.
It can help a little bit for sure.
What do you think, Abhi sir? Lot of difference. You said if STT has been reduced, it will make a lot of gain difference.
You said short-term capital.
Short-term capital gain, yeah.
It's removed. Yes, it will make a lot.
That will result to huge delivery volumes because short term is on delivery, right? The bigger problem is that income tax department has to take a very clear view between short term, long term and business income. That's the bigger problem. Even if you remove the short term, but if the government, your assessing officer, they keep on taking the view that it's a business income, then it's not going to happen.
No, so you are saying if they remove the short-term capital, then it will be treated as a business income.
Yeah, the department take the view that it's a business. If you do more and more transactions, means it's not an investment for you. So you need very clear guidelines for that.
Okay, fair enough. I think what is a concession seems to be, correct me if I am wrong, so that we can move to the next topic. Basically, we are saying the financial education is a must, that's what we are saying, to bring the retail investors back. I think STT needs some kind of a tweaking so that there is a less harassment from the tax authority side. And number 3, I think there is some sort of consensus that if short-term capital gain has been reduced or moderated, it can bring back the retail investor. That's what we are saying, alright? Yeah? Let me go back to the next topic for discussion. We have looked at some of the successful example of sovereign funds. We have very Temasek has been a very recent one. We have now talking about PSU, and a lot of people have believed that Modi has come back so that PSU would get ultimately other divestment become more efficient. What is our panel view? Basically, how do we have a real assets on our hand on public sector unit? How should government tackle this public sector unit? Because ultimately it's a people's money which has got invested. How that wealth will be distributed amongst the people? So maybe I can start with Abhishek with you this time, being this one. How do we basically government should look at 5 years in terms of treating the PSU? Should they divest at a substantial discount in the which was one of the suggestions in the first round of discussion. All governments should get a strategic investors like IPCL, sell it to someone of Hindustan Zinc, sell it to someone and let the wealth goes up of that assets. What's the right way you would suggest?
I think government intention is very clear. Our national asset in terms of some of the largest PSUs should be managed professionally. I don't think the talent either side, private or public sector, is different. Both are equally competent. But I think a radical idea could be that probably in all the PSUs also, if we introduce stock options for the key managerial talent and below also, there could be a lot of change which we can bring in terms of performance improvement, the way we link in the private sector. That can bring independence, that can bring professionalism and growth, and the public assets, which all of us are owners, can be a little more valuable. That will also help because we see for next 2 years, when tax revenues will be very low, growth in tax revenue will be very low, the alternative channels of public funds by way of divestments of PSUs will be very important to budget, match the fiscal deficit target. So that will be a very useful area, to improvise the value and worth of PSUs.
Okay. What's your view, Motilalji? Should we basically, because see, there are certain company like Air India, for example, or MTN, and I was talking to Nilesh, unfortunately he has to go, and I was telling that Axis Bank market cap is equal to Bank of Baroda plus PNB plus Canara Bank.
Yeah.
So should I buy 3 PSU bank or 1 private sector bank? मैंने बोलता जैसे भारतीय एयरटेल का हक है और MTNL है वैसा ही भारतीय बैंकों का भी होगा. Of course, you would have a vested interest to make that statement. So how do we look at this as a?
See, there are two views. One is whether you want an incremental gain or you want absolutely a very kind of a different rules of the games. My view is that government has no business to be in business.
Okay.
The government should get out of the businesses where I think the very competent private sector or foreign investments can come. Like you said MTNL. Now, what you look at MTNL, what kind of performance they have given in the last 20 years compared to other private sector banks, or say Indian Airlines, or I think even the private sector banks coming in versus public sector. Because of the privatization, even public sector's performance also has hugely improved. So one is that you slowly you divest something, but my sense is that wherever you can get value, I think the government should get out of the business. Say insurance, now LIC, the government created this institution long back. Now I think insurance can be, globally it's been I think done by the biggest private sector banks. So if one institution they sell, I don't know what will the they can remove the deficit of the country to a larger extent. So they have got Navratnas now. The old mindset was since that time private sector was not willing to invest or the foreigners were not allowed to invest. That's why government kept on creating businesses. But I think it's time for the government, as Modi ji has said that we want less government and more governance. I would say that I think that the right.
How should one divest? Should it be public or should it be strategic?
It should be strategic or I think whatever works fine. But you will get more value by strategic sale in favor of foreigners if there are no restrictions, or even there are a lot of Indian companies who can really buy, like your Hindustan Zinc, or you said Balco. There are a lot of I think there will be bidders for government assets. I think there is a huge value, like Coal India itself can be a big source of revenue for the government, or LIC. Like I think ONGCs, BPCL, SPCL. Why they need BPCL, SPCL, and IOC make upstream, downstream marketing? 3 companies. Or why they need 20 or 25 public sector banks? They can definitely, I think, merge it and somewhere they can get their revenue by divesting it.
What do you think, Mrs. Daruvala is suggesting that we should merge some of the public sector banks? We don't have a single world-class bank, and it's the same on this country. We doesn't have a single world-class bank. How would you suggest? What do we need to do?
See, basically, first and foremostly, public sector banks and private banks, we are not on the same platform at all. So please don't do any comparison.
Okay.
It is
no, that's given. That's accepted.
Not
So
right
not
to
right.
do that comparison.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the factor that we should be merged. Now, State Bank of India, and you are all aware of it, when Mr. O.P. Bhatt was there, all that he managed to do was get one subsidiary into the fold. Even in today's day, No other subsidiaries have been brought in. Unless the labor laws change, unless the interference of the unions is absolutely done away with, we are going to face very big problems when it comes to mergers.
So what's the solution?
Because basically,
No.
it has to be done. I'm not saying it should
How
not
do we
be.
do? What is the problem?
That is where labor laws first have to be changed.
Labor laws, okay.
Your labor laws have to be changed. Every single individual, including the unions, have to be made to understand that this is not something that is being done against the employee. It is in consideration and in favor of the employees. But that change of mindset has also got to come in. Your sense of belonging has to be there for an institution by every employee. Only then we would be in a position to do this. Because every bank has its different culture. If you look into the fact that like a PNB or Oriental Bank of Commerce, or in the south you have your Indian Bank, IOB, all these were actually regional banks, please understand. Because of nationalization, they have got the stature of a PSU and they have risen. They have done enormously good work. But we are all fat. PSU banks are fat. We cannot become thin and lean like the private sector. And again, another thing is, I cannot show the pink slips and say, the door is there, out you go. He can go only when he's reached the superannuation, or at best if he's committed a fraud, and I have been in a position to prove after all the necessary disciplinary actions, and the judgment of dismissal has been awarded to him. So basically, this is going to take time, but it is called for, because if we have to compete in the global world, our banks have to grow much bigger in size compared to what it is in today's day.
Mr. Soni, you represent one of the big banks in the world. Basically, how would you propose basically? How does India, do you have any insight basically? Because I was talking to one of the PSU CMD and he came with a very interesting suggestion. Suppose Andhra Bank is to merge with Bank of Baroda. What is the name do we supposed to keep? Because if the Andhra Bank business is added, there will be joint client Andhra Pradesh. And if Bank of Baroda has to do this, I think there will be joint client Gujarat. So I think that's also not only the labor which she has been talking about, but the sentiments are very getting high in this country. So how would you propose this?
So there are two things. I think, one of the things that we have learned with the global financial crisis is all the banks are private when they make profit. When they make losses or when they are on the verge of bankruptcy, they become public or they become government banks. So at a certain
2008.
After 2008. So whosoever made losses had to be bailed out by government because there was public money involved. So I don't necessarily say that banking being in public sector is a bad thing. The question is how do you make it more, let's say, accountable, more professional, and indeed I think merger is the way to go. More professionalism is the way to go. You have to give more shareholding out and you have to make them accountable a lot more. At a time when you're talking about FDI in defense, you need to question whether I need to be into the business of making watches or tractors or whatever. So I think somewhere the government needs to let go of certain sectors, and there are things which would still require, even when you go down the privatization path, you will still require some kind of regulation, some kind of controls to make sure that the sector is in check and they are not taking very aggressive risks to begin with.
Okay, fine. I think I have an instruction that we need to wind up. Can we have the last 2 minutes comments from each of the panel, then we can open this floor open for the other, this one. Any final comments would you like to make? Just 2 lines.
I would like to make one comment.
Yeah.
I would like to talk on the NPA front, non-performing assets.
Please.
With all due respect, a CDR cell, my first thing is the CDR cell should be just done away with. This was a creative baby. You scratch my bag, I scratch yours. So these borrowers were all taken care of under that roof of CDR. The defaulter has to make it his business to pay, whether it's an individual or a corporate. The will to pay, repay has to be there. And my gut feeling has always been that if you really deal very sternly with the defaulters, right now we are doing nothing. Very honestly, we are doing nothing. You have a SURFACIA Act and that takes long time, etc., and you finally do not get any. You really have to have your fast track courts for it, and these people should, it's a criminal offense which has to be treated. This NPA has to come down, and the NPA can only come down if there is really stern action on this stuff. Chasing, so we do a lot. Madam, you have no idea how much chasing we do.
No, point taken.
The double sword of CVC, CBI on our hands. Please understand. Private sector doesn't have to worry about anything. But we have to worry about every time a decision is taken. Your babus are also not working only because of CVC, CBI and CAG. For us there is no CAG, but there is RBI for us. So you have to understand this is entirely different platforms that we function from, and there are certain stern measures which must be taken in order to get the banking sector really under one consolidated.
Perfect. My humble request to you, 30 seconds. We'll start with Soni.
Sure. So, first of all, I think don't fear the stock market. I think that's something that I would like to say. And if you choose to come in, then do two things. One, have a right asset allocation, as Tulsianji was saying, that don't put all your money there. And second, if you choose to buy a stock, do a lot of work. Do some amount of research, or else put the money with somebody who understands it. So just because you get the prices every day doesn't mean that you have made a loss. What do you do when the price of gold goes down? People probably buy more. What do you do when the price of stock goes down? You give money to the broker who suggested it. Or you give money to people like us there.
I think I would agree with Suresh that somebody really, I think, need to have conviction in equity as an asset class. But don't look at the market when market is going up or market is going down. You should have very clear, I think, good, I would say a good portfolio of 8 to 10 stocks if you want to invest directly. Or you go to a mutual fund where 24/7 the professionals are managing your money. But you can kind of, I think, criticize equity, but you cannot ignore it. To me, the risk is not owning equities rather than owning equities. You have to have equities if you want kind of, I think, very strong kind of, I think, return adjusted for tax and inflation. In a high inflation economy, equity is the only asset class, maybe real estate, which will give you, I would say, post-tax, adjusted for inflation, good return. And I think downs should be used more for buying the stock rather than selling. So I would say that downs are temporary. In stock market, downs are temporary, ups are permanent. So somebody, I think, you keep on getting good time, bad time, you keep on buying stocks. And stock, the index in last 3 times, in 12 to 15 years, become 10 times. 7,900, 1990, 1,000, 2006, 10,000, 1 lakh will happen between 2020 and 2023 or 24. 1 lakh. So you will get, because equity as an asset class is very, very productive. So somebody, I think, you need to have strong conviction and should have good advisor like us or Amisha to kind of, I think, advise you on that.
I would only say one thing. You do invest in stocks, you do invest in mutual funds, but please don't forget the banks. Otherwise, how in the hell are we going to go?
I think this has become a platform for people to market their business. Let me see quick because I think we have some guests coming in, so make your final comments.
See, I've already given my mind, but let me quickly recap. On the capital market front, I've already said that primary market needs to get revived with some gap, to be left on the table, because you are only diluting part of the stake, number one. Number two, bring the discipline on part of the investors in terms of asset allocation, and even in the asset allocation into the stock market, have this subcategory as investor and as trader. Thirdly, I'm very confident if the discrimination or the high-handedness of this tax department can be removed. You just give me the benefit wherever you have collected the delivery STT. I'm not requesting for reduction in STT. But if I have paid delivery STT, I am entitled to claim short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain as depends on the time horizon. And lastly, on the PSU fronts, government must remain into the strategic business or maybe the national resources like Coal India, ONGC, but they have no business to make the bulk or maybe the watches or the industrial machinery or running an airlines or providing the telephone services or making fertilizer, because neither they are also the strategic importance nor they are capable to really. Because take the competitive performance of any company, we feel very gung-ho, this PSU is making profits. Make the competitive analysis of a similar product company made by a private sector, you will find that the PSUs are way below. So saying that we are all, allowing to cultivate and go on.
Fair enough. Can we have a huge round of applause for each one, each of the panel members? I have been informed we don't have time for Q&A. You have been wonderful audience. Can we have a huge round of applause for you people too? Thank you. I'll just hand over this to Mike to, I've been informed that we are heading short on time. There is some other guest has come in. So there will not be any Q&A, so please excuse us. This gentleman was saying no to me.
सर सवाल मत पूछिए, इतना याद रखिए ये डेमोक्रेसी में फर्स्ट टाइम मेजॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट है. चुपचाप इन्वेस्ट कीजिए. बैक करो, स्टिल इन्वेस्ट इन मार्केट्स.
I have been asked only one question. Okay, one question. मोतीलाल अच्छा एक बात है. जोई जी हर इंडस्ट्री में there will be good people and bad people. ऐसा नहीं है कि एटलीस्ट स्टॉक्स में है, रियल एस्टेट में भी बहुत सारे लोग मिलेंगे, हर इंडस्ट्री में मिलेंगे. I think that's why the risk perception of the equity is very different than what we feel. At least I am 100% equity investor and I think the portfolio has done very well. So you need to have conviction. Unless you take risk, you will not get high reward. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Please be seated. Now I am requesting Honorable Member of Parliament Shri Gopal Shetty ji to come on deck. Sir, please. I will request our MLA Mangal Prabhaji Lodha to come on deck. I will request Sanjay Lunia ji. Sanjay Lunia ji. अरे सर एक बार आपका फेलिसिटेशन है. No one to please. Everyone has to sit on the desk. Sanjay Lunia ji, Narendra Bhandari, Dinesh Saleja, please come here so that we can do all the felicitation very fast. Sunil Madia ji, Surendra Madia ji, Pradeep Seth, Ajay ji, Ajay Jain and Ajay Jain ji जरा यहाँ पे आ जाइए. Now I will request Sanjay Lunia ji to come on desk. गोपाल शेट्टी जी का मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट का बहुमान करें. नरेंद्र भंडारी मंगल जी लोढ़ा जी का बहुमान करेंगे. दिनेश सालेचा सुरेश सोनी जी का बहुमान करेंगे. प्लीज दिनेश जी कम ऑन द डेस्क. सुरेश सोनी जी. सुरेंद्र जी मडिया मोतीलाल जी ओसवाल का करेंगे. सुरेंद्र जी मडिया मोतीलाल जी ओसवाल. As a panelist, now as a panelist, you are the president of Jinto, but as a panelist, Pradeep Seth, Miss Homai Daruwala, please Pradeep. अजय जी प्लीज कम. एसपी तुलसिया जी का करेंगे. I will request our Chief Secretary Joyit Bhai to come on the desk. Sunil Damania ji का करेंगे. Let Sunil ji. Amisha Mora. Shri Gopal Shetty ji to say
मंच पर हम सबके बीच उपस्थित जीतो के ऑल इंडिया प्रेसिडेंट मोतीलाल ओसवाल जी, हमारे चेयरमैन राजेश प्रधान जी, उमय दारूवाला जी, अमीश वोरा जी, सुरेश सोनी जी, हमारे नेताजी को मैं कहूँगा महाराष्ट्र भारतीय जनता पार्टी के उपाध्यक्ष और मालवाड़ी के लोकप्रिय विधायक मंगल प्रभात लोढ़ा जी, उपस्थित सभी भाइयों, सबसे पहले तो मैं आप सबका धन्यवाद अदा करना चाहूँगा। आपने मुझे यहाँ पर बुलाकर मेरा सत्कार किया, सम्मान किया और निश्चित आप में से अनेक लोगों ने या तो आपके माध्यम से अनेक लोगों ने चुनाव के दरमियान मुझे वोट भी दिए और नोट भी दिए, इसलिए मैं इतना बड़े मार्जिन से जीत पाया, इसलिए मैं आपको धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा। और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा यहाँ पर आकर के आप सब लोग मिलकर टोटलिटी में देश के बारे में सोच रहे हो। कोई भी व्यक्ति अपना पर्सनल एजेंडा, अपने स्वयं के बिजनेस रिलेटेड कोई इशू को लेकर आने वाले दिनों में बजट में हमें क्या सहूलत मिलेगी, इसके बारे में चर्चा ना करते हुए पूरे टोटलिटी में आप देश के बारे में सोचते हो, बहुत ही अच्छी बात है। हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि हर व्यक्ति एक कदम चलेगा तो देश 150 कदम आगे बढ़ेगा, तो हम सबको मिलकर देश को आगे बढ़ाना है। हम स्वयं अपने बिजनेस में, अपने व्यवसाय में ज्यादा से ज्यादा प्रॉफिट करेंगे, ज्यादा से ज्यादा गेन करेंगे, इस मानसिकता में आने वाले दिनों में भी हम रहेंगे तो हो सकता है कि जो बुद्धिमान है, जो होशियार है, जो बहुत मेहनत करता है, जो बहुत परिश्रम करता है, वो बहुत कमा लेगा, लेकिन अगर देश बचेगा नहीं तो कमाया हुआ पैसा कोई काम में नहीं आएगा। इसलिए हम सारे लोगों ने मिलकर देश को आगे बढ़ाने के बारे में सोचना चाहिए। आप सब लोग इस विषय पर चिंतन करते हो, ये बहुत ही अच्छी बात है। मैं चाहूंगा कि आने वाले दिनों में आप सब लोग मिलकर देश के प्रधानमंत्री को अच्छे सजेशन भी देंगे। ये जो वार्तालाप यहाँ पर हो रहा है टीवी के माध्यम से, सारे ये महाराष्ट्र तक ही है सीमित, कम से कम सारे महाराष्ट्र के लोग तो ये देख रहे हैं और इसमें से ही वॉइस ऊपर तक पहुंचेगी। एक अच्छा काम आप करते हो, इसलिए मैं बहुत प्रसन्नता महसूस करता हूँ। आइए हम सब लोग मिलकर संकल्प करें, आने वाले दिनों में हम सब लोग मिलकर नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में देश को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। एक भाई ने यहाँ पर पूछा कि भाई हमारे पैसे का सिक्योरिटी क्या है। अब सारे सिक्योरिटी को भूल जाइए, एक ही मोदी सिक्योरिटी बहुत हो गया देश के, सबको सब कुछ ठीक ठाक हो जाएगा। मैं फिर एक बार आपको धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा। मंगल जी मेरे सीनियर है, वो भी 2 मिनट बोलेंगे और हम सबको मुंडे जी के शोक सभा में वहाँ पर जाना है, इसलिए मैं अपनी बात को यहाँ पर समाप्त करता हूँ। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। भारत माता की जय।
इस समारोह के आयोजक, जीतो के ग्वालियर टैंक के अध्यक्ष वर्धन जी, उनके सभी साथी, महाराष्ट्र के अंदर ही देश में शायद हाईएस्ट नंबर से जीत कर आए हुए आदरणीय श्री गोपाल शेट्टी जी, जीतो के अखिल भारतीय अध्यक्ष, आपके मेरे सबके मित्र मोतीलाल जी ओसवाल, यहाँ बैठे हुए सभी भाई बहनों, पैनलिस्ट, समय की मर्यादा है, मैं केवल इतना कह सकता हूँ कि जिसने भी इस प्रोग्राम के बारे में सोचा वो बहुत अच्छा सोचा, क्योंकि अब बड़ा सोचने का वक्त आ गया है। एक जो लास्ट में मिसेस वोरा ने एक अच्छा सेंटेंस कहा था, अमीशा वोरा जी ने, कि पहली बार एक फुल गवर्नमेंट आई है, इसलिए बाई बोरो स्टील और इन्वेस्ट करते जाओ। वास्तव में इकोनॉमी बूस्ट करने वाली है और इकोनॉमी बूस्ट करने में आपने आज जो ये प्रोग्राम रखा है और मोतीलाल जी ओसवाल जैसे लोग आकर जब आपके और हमारे से बात करते, मोतीलाल जी ने सब बहुत अच्छा काम किया, खाली एक आज कमी रखी कि कई लोग उनसे टिप्स चाहते थे, वो उन्होंने नहीं दी है। थोड़ी बहुत भी आप टिप्स देंगे तो काफी भला हो जाएगा, ये आना सफल हो जाएगा। एक बार पुनः इस सुंदर कार्यक्रम के लिए सभी का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन, धन्यवाद, जय जय।
नमस्कार, हेलो, मंच पे मेरे महानुभावगण, आज का फंक्शन आप सबके कारण इतना सुंदर ढंग से प्रस्तुत कर पाया हूँ और कोई कठिनाई हुई तो माफी चाहते हैं। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ ट्रीडेंट होटल और उनके मैनेजमेंट का, जिन्होंने हमें मौका दिया गया। मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ सब कर्मचारियों का जिन्होंने हमें सही सर्विस दी गई। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ बैक ऑफिस का, जिन्होंने सही वक्त पे सही काम किया। आप सबका सहयोग के साथ में धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सर।
Saturday with us. Have a good week.